Let's come back home. Independent MP Andrew Wilkie says he and the Prime Minister are still working towards implementing historic poker machine reform. This is despite concerns the federal government is backing away now from introducing mandatory pre-commitment.
It's frustrating for those who want to see action on problem gambling, and we're joined by, at the moment, in the studio by reformed gambler and director of the Free Yourself program, Gabriella Byrne, who, thanks for joining us, and no doubt you're one of those who's frustrated with the way some of these negotiations are panning out.
Yeah, because I see on a daily basis, first through my personal experience many years ago, the effect that this harmful product has on so many lives. You know, just recently a young mother came to me who lost $7,000 on a 1-cent machine in 45 minutes. And, you know, to hear the club saying that is entertainment and they would spend it in the movies, I think is not really relevant for those that are hurt.
Now, what we've got at the moment is the government and Andrew Wilkie and others trying to come to get some legislation up that would see mandatory pre-commitment. Now, that's proving quite difficult. Why do you think mandatory pre-commitment is a necessary step? Why is that a way that must proceed forward?
Well, I think as a reformed problem gambler, if I would have had a decision to make in a conscious state before I go into a gaming venue how much money I would have spent or be able to afford to lose, then my family wouldn't have lost, you know, $40,000 on a deposit on a home, because I wouldn't have never experienced the urge to chase the money that I've lost. So I think besides maybe helping problem gamblers, I think it saves the next generation from actually experiencing this problem. So I think it is a good thing. $1 bet limits, though, which is the other reform that is proposed, I think is a simple way that could be introduced a lot quicker and would probably have a great effect on people that are experiencing problems right now.
Do you find when you're listening to the politicians talk and debating this issue that that addiction actually gets forgotten about? You talk about being in a conscious state, not being in a conscious state when you're betting. Can you talk about that addiction? It
is like a Jekyll and Hyde, right? When you go into a gaming venue, it feels like you know exactly what you're doing. You know you want to spend half an hour. But once you're in there and the way the environment is set up, it distracts all your senses. So whatever happens in there, you get into a zone, and then you have no way of making a conscious decision or a choice to leave. And I think that's what people struggle with on a day-to-day basis. And go in every gaming room at 9 o'clock in the morning, you can't tell me that people are there for entertainment. You know?
One of the criticisms of the idea of mandatory pre-commitment has been that if a problem gambler is the one setting themselves a limit, they can just set it at $1 million or any figure, and therefore it's not actually a control. What do you say to that?
I don't think so, because, see, it's not that when you're in the venue that you're making that decision. It's like you do that before you go, and you know exactly how much money you can afford to lose. So you get the card while you're in you know, that really responsible state of mind, and so you would set a responsible limit. But once you're in the venue, nothing, it'll take over, the beast takes over.
If it is the beast and it's an addiction and that's the nature of the problem, is there any risk of these sorts of regulations like mandatory pre-commitment simply shifting the problem somewhere else, to online gambling or somewhere where it's more accessible and less regulated, which is an argument that's been put forward by the clubs at some points?
I don't, from personal experience and the many hundreds of people that I speak to, poker machines addiction are sort of a standalone thing. People that are addicted to pokies don't shift to somewhere else. You know, they still can buy a Tats Lotto ticket, or they can go and play blackjack in a casino. It's the product that got them hooked, and once they're off that, they won't shift. I mean, I don't care about any other forms of gambling. So I think it's a very sort of dangerous product that we should look at.
And Gabriella, what do you make of the latest? We're reading in the newspapers this morning that perhaps Cabinet is thinking of the trial in the ACT as a delaying tactic to maybe drag this out beyond the next election. What goes through your mind when you hear about the politics surrounding this?
See, I day to day see the harm that this product causes. I see kids that go hungry. I see women on the brink of committing suicide, and I feel it's time we're looking at the people. You know, Nick always puts forward this example about seat belts. You know, Panadol. When one person got a stomach ache, we put a safety paper around it. You know, I mean, how many people have to die before we do something seriously about this? That's my question.
All right, Gabriella Byrne, thank you very much, and good luck with continuing your work in tackling problem gambling as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.